Hey everyone, it's the host of All Across America, Marco Vig. Thank you for being a listener. The show is free, of course. All I ask of you is that you share it with friends and give us a review on Spotify or Apple. And it would be great to hear from you. We're on Instagram at All Across America or visit our new website, allacrossamerica.com. I try to respond personally to everybody who reaches out, so say hello. All right, on with the show. Podcasting from Portland East to Portland West, from Big Pine Key to Pacific Beach, and from San Juan to Guam, this is All Across America. Tell us how many businesses, we're sitting here at a Mister Softee / Nathan's operation, brand new, spanking fresh. You have this location, how many Mister Softee trucks you have, how many concession stands do you have?
I have 4 Mister Softee trucks and 1 Good Humor truck and 2 portable Nathan's trucks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have this location, and then how many concession stands do you have?
We have a Scarsdale pool, Greenberg pool, Reese Park, and Kensico Dam.
So 4.
4 concessions and 4 Softee trucks, 2 Nathan's trucks, and 1 Good Humor truck.
Wow. Okay. So I'm trying to do the math there. That's like 11. You've got 11 balls in the air.
Absolutely.
So, describe a typical day for you. Let's just say on the Mister Softee side. You said you're going down to the Bronx almost every morning.
Right. To load up at a Mister Softee depot, which is 156th Street in Bruckner. I just picked up 20 cases of mix for the trucks at 7 in the morning, and they're loading now to go out through their day in Yorktown, Scarsdale, Ossining, and Croton. Okay.
And so they're not doing the neighborhood routes?
A little bit, but mostly on the weekends we do either parties or we do the parks.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of parties, birthday parties.
Oh, that's the thing now. So they get the Mister Softee truck. You show up between 11 and 1.
Yeah, we do weddings.
Weddings, okay.
Funerals.
I actually like the funeral idea.
Yeah, one lady wanted the ice cream truck because her mother loved the ice cream truck, and she would have ice cream every night. And she said, "Would you mind giving out ice cream at my mother's wake?" And so
wow.
That was a tribute to her.
Yeah, that's nice. So you have Mr. Wait, I got to ask you this question. Very important question. Do you sell bomb pops?
Yes.
All right. Because maybe you could, because it's such a theme, we got to hear about your other career that you retired from with as a detective, Westchester County Police.
Right. Bomb pops and SpongeBob, Spider-Man. All those novelties we sell on the Softee truck.
Right.
So it's just not soft ice cream.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of the kids at the ballparks want a Spider-Man or a bomb pop.
So what's the big seller these days, and have you seen it change over the years?
Yeah, basically it's a soft vanilla cone with rainbow sprinkles. That's the standard, but we do banana splits, we do sundaes, milkshakes are very big now. And we even have smoothies that we do on the truck and at the store here.
So rainbow sprinkles. I've asked you this question before because there's some controversy over Jimmy's. And do people call it Jimmy's?
Old school people do call them Jimmy's.
Okay.
If you go down south, they're Jimmy's.
Yeah. Because it's like a New England thing. It was my understanding, and I always just thought it was a funny thing.
No. If they want Jimmy's, we know what it is.
I kind of like Jimmy's. Sprinkles is Now, when you don't sprinkle it over, you kind of dip it in the sprinkles.
We just dip it in the
sprinkles. All right, okay. So vanilla is more popular than chocolate.
Oh, 3 to 1.
3 to 1.
3 to 1. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Has that changed over time?
Not really.
No.
It's pretty standard. Or a swirl, which is a combination. That's about 25%.
So how many ice cream machines do you have in the truck? You have a vanilla, you have a chocolate, and then you have a swirl? Is it 3?
No, it's one big machine.
One big machine, and you press a button.
With swirl in the middle, yeah.
Oh, and so you're just pressing a button.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So the jingle. Do you guys play the jingle?
Oh, absolutely. We played it in the store, and people just want to hear the jingle.
All day
Sometimes
long.
we don't play it all day long because we get complaints if somebody's in the car. So we can't play it all day long. That's
So, I mean, in the store you play it too?
yes.
Oh,
When kids come in, we play it, and they jump up and down. They start dancing.
Oh, so it's kind of like you press a button, you play it for like one track, and you're good. All right, so it's not on repeat. I was going to say.
We can control it.
All right, because I was going to say you'd probably have a lot of staff turnover if you played the same song all day long.
In fact, my alarm clock used to be a Mister Softee jingle, and then I cut that out.
Oh man, that's a little bit too much. What time you normally wake up for all this? If you got to be in the Bronx at 7 a.m.
Probably six in the morning to 10 at night.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a long day, and I've been doing it for 50 years, so I can't seem to stop.
I mean, it's almost you're kind of like a beaver.
Yeah.
You know what they say with the beavers? Their teeth continually grow.
Yeah.
And if they don't eat at the trees, their teeth will grow through into their head and kill them.
Is that right?
So maybe you're like a beaver.
The teeth are protruding my head now. That's for sure. But for most part, I enjoy it, and I have a young crew, and I took in a partner this year that's going to take it to the next level.
Okay. How's that? What are you thinking of doing? What's in the plans?
He's 22 years old. He's been with me for 8 years.
Wow.
I was a substitute teacher in Yonkers, and I recruited him, and he's taken it to another level for me, and he's willing. He puts in the time, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
And he's making good money, and he sees the value in this. So it's good.
So tell us how you got your start. I know you've done concessions at Madison Square Garden, Yankee Stadium, Shea Stadium. You know how it all came to be. You opened your first concession stand at what, 22?
Yes.
In Mount Vernon.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I started as a. My dad passed away in 1968 during open heart surgery, and my next door neighbor, Jimmy Fay, was the #1 vendor in Shea Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
He got me a job selling peanuts at 14. So I got involved until I worked at Madison Square Garden, and then at Madison Square Garden it was a slow week, and 3 older vendors, I was 15 and they were 18, approached me and said, you want to sell Italian ices this weekend at a concert?
Yeah.
So I said, I'll give it a shot. And they wanted $100. They rented a Marino's ice truck with dry ice. We headed up the New York Thruway, and with 100 gallons of Italian ices, and we pulled over because traffic was a mess, and we started selling Italian ices right there. I was 15, and we had a line all over the place, and that was Woodstock.
That was Woodstock.
Yeah, that was the beginning of it. So for my $100 investment, I came home with close to $2,000.
And that was big money in 1969. So
yeah.
that was your Woodstock experience.
Right.
Was making money.
Right. And Richie Havens was who was a folk singer, was my first customer. He got stuck in traffic, and he was walking with his guitar on his back.
Oh, wow.
And he gave me a $100 bill. He said, buy everybody here at Italian Ice.
Wow,
so
all right.
That was my first time ever seeing a $100 bill. And I became a big fan of Richie Havens as well.
Wow, all right. Wow, he passed away just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, about 5-6 years
Yeah.
ago. I used to go to his local concerts, and
Right.
He was an amazing folk singer.
And so you've been doing 71, Mister Softee was your first experience.
Yeah. My next door neighbor, down the block a little bit, his mother had died in Italy, and he had to go right away to Italy. So his son was too young to drive a truck. So I took over the route for most of the summer,
Yeah.
driving the truck in Queens. And again, I was making good money. He gave me a percentage. Cones then were $1, and I think he gave me 10%, and I was making over $100 a day.
Nice.
So that inspired me, and I always knew I wanted to have a Softee truck.
And so you bought your first truck in 1996.
Yes.
So it's been almost 30 years. How many ice creams do you think you've made over that time?
Oh, I would say maybe close to 1 million.
Get out of here.
Yeah, over between the stands and the trucks, and we had FDR State Park. I would say close to 1 million. Yeah.
Wow.
Over a 30-year period. Yes.
And what's the price of a cone these days?
$5.
$5.
It started at $1.
Okay.
And then it's up to $5 now.
Now, is there just one standard size, or is there a kiddie size, medium, large, or is it just kind
One
of
size.
that's
size.
nice. Yeah. That
Nice
way,
and easy.
Yeah, that way you don't have everybody fighting. The
Yeah,
kids
one
want
size,
the
yeah. And the sprinkles are free.
the sprinkle. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Or the Jimmies.
The Jimmy's. $5. And so, are people paying cash? Or are you now accepting like Apple Pay and Google?
Apple Pay. These 7-year-old kids come up with their phones.
Wow.
With Apple Pay.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I would say half my business is either Apple Pay or credit cards.
Okay.
Very little cash.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Wow. And so I imagine that's been a big change over the years.
Oh yeah, very big change. Very big change.
I once dated a girl a long time ago, and she was Canadian, and her father opened up an ice cream stand.
Yeah.
For the explicit reason that he could launder money through the ice cream stand because it was an all cash business.
Can't do that anymore.
You can't do that.
It goes directly to the IRS. My accountant has it, so there's no
funny business.
No funny business. No.
So tell us about your time for the Westchester County Police. So I mean, you've had this has been a constant theme throughout your life, but then you had this 20-year period where you're on the bomb squad, you were a detective, your employee assistance program lead. So how did you manage to squeeze that into?
I don't know. I tell you the truth, because I got out of Manhattan College in 1979, and there were no teaching jobs.
Yeah.
And I had a physical education degree, and there were no teaching jobs. So I started substituting in all Yonkers schools, and then I became the phys ed director at the Jewish Community Center in Yonkers on South Broadway. And then eventually a job came up at Lincoln. I was a health teacher there in Yonkers.
Lincoln High School.
Lincoln High School, and then I got a full-time job at Yonkers High School as a phys ed and health teacher. And my principal, who was my gym teacher 10 years prior at Lincoln, told me that next year the census were down, and that he might have to cut my full-time position. So prior to that, I had taken a job for the county police, and he said, if I were you, O'Neill, I would take the county police. And I took it, and I loved the job. I loved the police job. He said he would hire me back, and then I spent 20 years. I did 8 years on patrol,
Okay.
doing accidents.
Oh, wow.
Everything, worked 3 tours, and still had all my businesses running. So it was busy. I went to bomb school in Huntsville, Alabama, and I learned to be a bomb tech. And we were busy, especially after 9/11.
Right.
Everybody wanted a bomb dog.
Yeah.
And I developed my own bomb dog business as well.
Right.
And 4 of my dogs worked at the New York Stock Exchange, and I had 4 at home where my wife took care of them. So every week I would change them out.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was busy.
And what year did you retire from the police?
20 years ago. So what's today's
Well,
date?
204?
204.
Yeah.
I left
Wow.
it, and then the ice cream business really was taking off, and I still did a lot of bomb dog work.
Okay.
And I always had something to do.
Yeah.
And I started substitute teaching in all Yonkers schools.
Wow.
Which was a great thing for me to recruit.
Okay.
People.
All right.
Yeah. Most of my workers are from Yonkers schools.
Okay.
And I always go to the athletic director or gym.
Right. Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, they have good work ethics, and
Yeah.
they're a little hungrier than the people up north here.
Okay.
The kids up north here are a little more privileged.
They're a little soft.
A little soft.
Yeah.
Including my grandson. We all want better for our kids. So,
Yeah.
So I enjoy the underdog.
There you go.
Yonkers kid.
So you retired from the police force in 2004. You had the canine dogs for how many years after that?
I just gave that up 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just got to be too much.
Yeah.
And I started working for the company that is probably the largest company. I worked for T&M, and they had an MSA Associates, which does all the dogs in Lower Manhattan, World Trade Center.
Okay.
Now I do work for them part-time.
Really?
Yeah, only when they're stuck or they need me. So I worked at Madison Square Garden with the bomb dogs.
Really?
New York Stock Exchange, the World Trade Center. So I have had a pretty...
I mean, I'd imagine in the summertime, I mean, you're not going to the beach.
No. I haven't been to a beach in 40 years.
Yeah.
Or a pool.
Wow. Well, you've been within a stone's throw of a pool.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, it must be difficult in, come November when everything kind of slows down. Like, how do you keep yourself, it's almost like you go into, like, semi-retirement in the wintertime, but for your full bore back in it again, or are things still busy in the winter, too?
They're getting busy because trucks are busy for football games and everything like that.
Okay.
And I was losing a couple of my employees because I didn't have full-time work.
Right.
So that's where the store came in to being.
Right, because you get somebody who's good, and you get them for a season, and then they want
Right.
Year-round work, and then you're stuck, and you got to start.
So this is actually the next level, and Curtis, my partner now, is developing that.
Great. Okay.
And so I have full-time work now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what's winter versus summer like for you? You said you're still doing the trucks. I mean, for
a little bit. No,
occasions?
I have a beautiful home in Naples, Florida, that I got 3 years ago. My daughter and grandson live down there.
Very nice.
She's getting married in March, and I enjoy it down there, but I still get a little bored down there.
Yeah.
I never developed any hobbies.
Okay.
Golf, tennis, none of that.
Right.
So after a few weeks down there, my wife's girlfriends come down and they put me on a plane.
Yeah, it's a mutual.
It's like a Softee exchange program.
Yeah.
So I fly back here and do a truck in November, December, January, wherever, and people want Softee trucks 12 months.
I mean, that's great. I mean, ice cream is ice cream. I mean,
at weddings, we got a couple of weddings that we do in the winter time. It's unbelievable. The demand.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you're such an entrepreneur, but you've also got franchises. How has that worked for you where, let's say you have a concession stand at a pool or a state park, it's all you. Whereas you're doing the Nathan's franchise, Mister Softee, they've kind of have their own bylaws, and how do you juggle that?
Good relationships.
Yeah.
They saw what I was doing, and I thought it was a combination of putting two franchises together.
Okay.
And I believe this is the first Nathan's and Softee combination in America.
Wow, okay. I mean, it makes perfect sense. Hot dogs and ice cream. Yeah. I mean,
And it's actually the first Softee store in New York State.
Wow, okay. Because they're all mostly trucks.
Mostly trucks. There's a couple in Jersey.
Okay.
And a couple in California, of which me and my partner Curtis went out to visit.
Good for him.
We did our due diligence,
Yeah.
and we saw how successful it was.
Right. No, that's smart.
And they were taking off like crazy.
Wow. Okay.
So That's the marriage of the two stores.
Okay. And I mean, Mister Softee, I see one of the original founders is still involved with the company, so it seems like it's more of a family. It's not like Subway, for instance, what this was, where there are
Right.
10,000 franchises, and I imagine at that level, it's very prescriptive. Whereas, I mean, how many Nathan's branches are there? There can't be, near to the level of, yeah.
No, I believe Softee is in 40 states.
40 states. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Conway family, the original owner, sold me my first truck.
Wow.
He was in his 70s.
Wow.
And the truck then was going for 60,000, and I only had 20,000. And what he said to me was, "Okay, kid, I hear good things about you. Give me 20,000 now, and give me 5,000 a month."
Wow.
And that was my first truck.
Wow.
Now a new truck today goes for about 225,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, if you were to buy a new truck and you have 4 of them, how long would it take to get that investment back?
Depending upon the business, but I would say if you do it right, within a few years, 3 years.
Couple year.
Yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I mean, you got to put your time in.
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, I'm taking off," and that's what happens. A lot of people don't realize the commitment that you
Yeah.
have to do. That it's a 12-hour a day,
7 days a week.
7 days a week business.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's not really too much downtime.
Right. I mean, in the summer,
Yeah.
what are you going to do?
Yeah. And that's why I never developed, and this has been my hobby.
Yeah. I mean, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
wow. Okay. And so you've got the Nathans, you got the Mister Softee. What are things that didn't work out for you?
In my mind, everything worked out for
Yeah.
me because I was so persistent
Okay.
in just doing it.
Yeah.
I always called it a pivot. I would pivot
Right.
here if it didn't
Okay,
work.
fair
pivot
enough,
there, and I just, I used to hitchhike from Yonkers to Armonk to Caddy.
Yeah.
So everything else became
Yeah.
easy for me.
Yeah.
And I knew the golf game very well
Right.
from caddying, but I went out golfing once and I hit more balls in the woods
It's
than anything.
I caddy too. It's a
Yeah.
frustrating. I mean, these guys pulling their hair out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's not a stress relief
No,
activity.
not at all. Not at all.
Some of them I question why
Right,
they
right,
do
right,
it.
right.
I mean, it's a client for a lot of them. And, your business is very
Yeah,
different.
yeah, But I did take my brothers, who were very good to me in lending me money over the years for the Softee trucks and everything. I did take them to Augusta, Georgia,
Oh, nice.
to see the Masters.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So
yeah.
we about 5 years ago,
Good.
we had a
Good.
great time.
Yeah, you got to do a few. And that's in April of every year,
Yes,
so
yeah.
it's
So it
not
wasn't
really
too
your big
busy,
season. Yeah.
It was like a long weekend for us, so it was great.
So, in terms of like product lines, what's changed? I know you have the smoothies here. Like, what's changed over the years? And I mean, obviously, people love the organic today and farm to
Organic,
table.
yeah,
And
yeah,
but
very
I mean,
much so.
is there such a thing as a farm to table hot dog? I mean, how is
No,
that?
not yet, but we do sell salads
Yes.
and vegan ice cream. We sell here
Really?
at the store. Yes.
Wow.
Dairy free Dole
Okay.
Whip, a very requested item. So a lot more health conscious.
Right. Okay.
So you can come to the Softee store here and get a vegan ice cream.
Okay.
You can get a grilled chicken salad
Wow.
and a garden burger, which is a plant-based.
There you go. Okay.
Burger, and we do sell some of those as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Impossible Burger?
Yes.
They're good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah. Surprising, it tastes just like a hamburger.
It does.
Yeah.
When I first got one, I
Yeah.
asked the waitress. I said, "Did you get my?" I couldn't believe it. I thought she got the order wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
So, have you thought about doing the Impossible Burger, or is that a
Well, we can't take the name the Impossible Burger. We do what
I
they
see.
call a garden burger.
I see.
Which
Okay.
is very, very similar.
I see. Okay. Yeah. 'Cause that's
And at
another-
Scarsdale Pool, we sell a ton of them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, how did you manage as a cop on patrol? I mean, I guess you're only on patrol. You said your first 8 years. I
Yeah.
mean, would you be surreptitiously carrying ice cream and sprinkles on one?
No, well, family. I had 4 of my sisters helping out.
Okay, yeah.
And my wife. I used to drive a medallion cab, and she was a dispatcher, and I hired her, and it was the best move I ever made.
Right.
She ran everything.
Yeah.
The taxi company wasn't happy that I took her away, but she became Mrs. Softee.
Right. There was even an article here.
Yeah.
I don't know what paper this was in, but
That was in Westchester Magazine.
Westchester Magazine,
Maybe.
Mrs. Softee.
Yeah, Stella. She's kind of really retired now, but she ran everything. She
Yeah.
worked again 12 hours a day, 7 days a week.
That's great.
The concessions, the trucks. She drove a truck, so
Yeah.
she was really good.
And what way? I mean, it was really a true partnership, and you've got somebody new that you talked about. What are the things that you're good at? That it's kind of finding that balance of you're good at something, they're better at something else.
Yeah, I was always good on gophering. Go
Okay.
for this, go for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Restaurant Depot, go for this,
Right,
go
okay,
for this.
yeah.
Picking up this,
Yeah.
picking up that.
Right.
I wasn't the greatest waiting on customers.
Okay.
So my wife was pleasant,
Yeah.
and she did that, and I was good at short order cook. That was my real
Okay.
first order cook.
Right,
So,
right.
so I had no problem cooking or going. The less involvement with customers was the better for me.
But I feel like the Mister Softee truck, it's kind of hard to go wrong. I mean, there's a limited
true.
offerings. Everybody's happy.
Of all the things I've ever done, I enjoyed the Softee
Yeah,
truck because
yeah.
you go out to a park and it's just one line and it's basically a ice cream cone. They're happy to see
Right.
you.
Everybody's
And
happy.
in between innings, you can watch a ball game.
Right.
I got music in the truck.
Yeah.
It's air conditioning.
Oh, that's key.
And nobody bothers me.
Yeah. Nobody bothers
I
you.
stop for lunch wherever I want.
Right. Yeah.
And I still enjoy doing that.
Yeah,
once in
that
a while.
must be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the opposite of being a truck driver.
yeah.
Tow truck driver pisses everybody off, ruins their day.
Yeah.
You make everybody happy.
Everybody's happy to see you.
Yeah, I mean that's it's nice. You're making money and you're making people happy.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that
Best
combination.
job I ever had.
Yeah. So I mean
Without a doubt.
the four trucks there. What are you thinking? Will you get more or?
That's up to my partner.
Yeah.
He's the next level. He's ambitious, but getting the help is the problem.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants to work.
Yeah, it's tough. And how many employees do you have right now?
We have about 25.
Okay, and is that summer? Is that year round?
Year round, it's going to turn out to be about 10
Yeah.
and 15 during the summer. We
Okay.
got a lot of college kids,
Right.
high school kids, and then we incorporate. Come September, we lose a lot of
Sure.
kids to sports and college.
Right.
And then
But how about the concession? Is that including the concessions?
no, the concessions are basically from Memorial Day to Labor Day, so they close down.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we focus on the trucks from September to December.
Yeah. Okay.
And now the Nathan store will fill in
Year round.
and
Okay.
year round.
And then how many employees do you have in that the height of the summer, all in?
Close to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
close to 30. Yeah.
And so you have these routes on the Mister Softee trucks. Is there like turf wars that ever go on? Like, how do you establish your route?
Well, Mister Softee, we basically own the rights to Mister Softee from 287 north,
Wow. Okay.
and there's a couple others that own 287 south. That's
Okay.
how each franchise is specifically defined.
Okay. And for folks listening in, 287 is a major east-west thoroughfare separating northern Westchester from southern Westchester, just outside New York City.
Yeah, we're basically northern Westchester.
Okay.
Yeah, and we go up as far as Albany.
Wow.
sometimes, yeah,
Okay.
For a party.
So, how about the good humor side of things? Could a good humor truck, because you do own a good humor truck, but
That fills in wherever we can't supply a Softee truck for a party.
I see,
And that's
okay.
basically kept at Kensico Dam in Valhalla,
okay.
where it's stationary. It doesn't really move.
Oh,
too
it
much.
doesn't move. Okay.
Yeah, and we pop the Softee truck in there every couple
Yeah.
hours to
Gotcha.
maximize the ice cream experience.
So
And
you-
people love Mister Softee.
I mean,
So we'll have a line on the Good Humor truck at Kensico and in comes the Softee truck for 15 minutes, and everybody runs this.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see in real time what people
Absolutely.
want. Wow.
In fact, we used to have a stand inside the concession of Mister Softee, and people wouldn't want to go to. They wanted the truck experience.
They wanted the truck experience.
They wanted the
Wow.
truck experience, especially kids. They
Yeah.
love the truck.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And, I mean, today it's all about food trucks.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
a lot of these folks have gone from food trucks to opening a brick and mortar restaurant. But I feel like even more now, the truck is like the thing.
Oh, absolutely. They love the truck. Well, the mobility of the truck is the key.
Yeah.
And the experience.
Yeah.
Wedding parties come on a truck to take a picture.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Birthday kids, when they have their birthday.
Oh, I'm sure
we
for
give
the
them
kids.
a Softee shirt.
Yes,
and
yeah.
a Softee mini truck, and they take their picture, and they just love it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, if you were to expand, where would you go? I mean, into Connecticut, Fairfield County. What is that?
Yeah, we could, but I don't have the time or the energy.
Right, you're only
I'm
one guy.
71 now.
Yeah.
I have some great workers, and the next level is undetermined yet. It depends.
Yeah.
How many people can buy in.
Right.
To the theme of working 7 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's my next question is like, what would you recommend to somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur in this business?
Well, I got a lot of people that always come up to me and say, "Oh, I like to buy your truck."
Yeah.
I said, I would never sell your truck unless you worked it for a year.
Wow.
Because it needs constant repair.
Right.
There's constant hours. You're getting calls all sorts of times.
Yeah.
So you got to really know the business. You
Yeah.
can't just go out and get a truck and,
Right.
and think the money's going to be coming in.
Right.
And you got to service the people, service the parks, service the pools, and the maintenance. 25% of whatever we take in goes to repairs of the truck. They're constantly on the road.
Yeah.
And the ice cream machines, so it's a constant.
Right. So so how many miles a year are you putting on each Mister Softee truck? Would you say?
Probably 30,000.
30,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's constant.
Yeah.
That's brakes. That's exhaust, tires. So there's a lot of maintenance to do.
Right, and we're not talking highway miles. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
Uphills,
that's heavy
downhills,
miles.
yeah.
Okay.
And the ice cream machines, they need. We clean them out twice a week.
Okay.
Sanitize
Nice.
everything.
Yeah.
So, and the health department is very proactive on making sure that trucks are worthy of.
That's
selling.
good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and wow. Okay. And you showed me you have a generator on the back of each of these.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
plug
ge-
in. You
we
plug
plug
in
in.
overnight.
We plug in it, it keeps it refrigerated, and electric bills are constantly running, and the gas, the diesel to run the generators.
Wow.
Yeah, it costs about $200 to run a truck on the gas and the diesel a day.
Just gas and diesel a day.
$100 in diesel, $100 in gas.
Wow.
So.
And then, so what's your profit? I mean, how much money could you make on a good day versus what your expenses
On
are?
a good day, we can take in $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, most of credit cards.
Right.
And it all depends upon the weather too.
Yeah.
But everybody loves ice cream. It
Yeah.
doesn't discriminate.
Nope.
Anybody from 5 to 95.
That's for sure.
They love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And they love the idea of Softee and Nathan's. People come up here and say, "Oh, my first hot dog was in Coney Island. Oh, I met my wife at
Right.
Nathan's."
Right.
And what you find now is they have a hot dog, and right next door is Softee. So we
There you go.
we got them caught.
Yeah.
Hot dog, and then they
especially
buy
if they're
everything.
kids, you get the hot dog. They
And
finish
it's
that.
a reasonable meal.
So what are your big profit margin items versus, do you have certain things that people demand so you keep them on even though they're not big sellers for, or
Well, we now incorporate juices and icy bowls,
Yeah.
which people like, healthy. So that's becoming another demand.
Okay.
But basically, with Nathan's, it's hot dog and the famous fries.
Right. Okay.
And with Softee, it's the vanilla cone with sprinkles.
Right.
So we always have plenty.
What would you say, Mister Softee, the vanilla cone with rainbow sprinkles? What percentage? That's the standard order. What percentage of your orders is that standard order?
I would say 40%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be mine.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna go in, that would be mine.
Yeah.
So
basically, it's a vanilla shake, a chocolate shake. Shakes are becoming.
shakes. Okay.
Yeah. And dip cones are another one. So it's a little bit of.
Well, what's describe what a dip cone
a
is?
dip cone is a vanilla cone dipped in a choice of chocolate dip, blue raspberry dip, or cherry dip.
And so you dip the cone upside down.
Down and bring it right back
How does it
up.
not fall out?
It's frozen enough that
It's frozen enough.
no,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And the dip is warm.
Oh.
So it's really a fresh product.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
And you ever get like carpal tunnel from your hand? You got to do the swirl over. And
Actually, a few times, yeah. That's why I don't do it too much anymore.
Wow. Okay.
I'm starting to have a few back pains, a few
right.
elbow pains.
Yeah.
And
You
everything.
put yourself on the disabled list for Mister Softee.
So my workers are really good at it.
Yeah.
They're doing TikTok videos.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So my nieces, other than my sisters, my nieces and my daughter were very helpful in really expanding the business.
All right. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. So what's next? I mean, you ever going to slow down or?
I don't know if I'm going to ever slow down because I enjoy it still.
Yeah.
And I like mentoring now more than anything.
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
People were very good to me when I was growing up. I grew up with nothing, and people mentored me. So I like the idea of mentoring.
That's nice.
People. So that gives me.
That's great.
A lot good feeling. Yeah.
And you mentioned I read your manuscript. You said you're an underdog and overachiever. Can you tell us about that? I like that.
Because I grew up when my father died. My mother had 7 kids, and my brother was in Vietnam. My brother Eddie, and we had the house was falling apart, and he came home from Vietnam. He brought a medallion cab, and he worked during the day, and I worked at night, and we constantly put money into the house.
Wow.
Fixing up the house. We never went out to dinner, and we just started building. And the medallion at that time was $25,000,
Right.
Which he had to pay every month. And he sold it 10 years ago for $500,000.
At the right time. He
At the
got
right
out.
time.
He got out at the right time.
Uber really destroyed
the
the
New York City.
medallion business, so he did get out at the right time.
Wow.
Yeah. So I took that idea of investing in the Softee trucks.
Right.
I got my first truck was $60,000, and again, Jen Conway lent me the money. No loan, handshake. Everything was a handshake.
Wow.
And now the trucks are going for $250,000.
Right. I mean, that's amazing. That's such a nice long history you've had with the family, and they've been willing to do that for you, and so it's still run by the family.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The grandsons are running it.
Wow.
The 2 grandsons are running it, and the Conways are basically retired, but they're out in Runnymede, New Jersey. JP and Mike Conway run the business.
Wow.
And they're constantly, the demand for the trucks are unbelievable.
Really?
Over a year wait if you wanted a truck.
A year wait to even get in the business.
Yeah.
Wow. And you
for
said
a new truck.
40 states, and how many trucks would you say they've got?
I would say they got maybe 600-700 trucks.
Wow. Okay.
And that's just a rough estimate.
I'd imagine there could be 2 or 3 times that.
But they're excellent. They have about 10 employees constantly building trucks.
Okay.
to different specs for different states.
Oh, really?
Some states want 2 air conditioners. The health standards are very
I see.
tough.
Okay.
So I'm actually online for a truck in Naples, Florida.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, so that might be my last hurrah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Where I sell this business in New York, and I just do my own truck. When I get on my wife's nerves. And
there you go. He ship you out for 12 hours.
I go out with an air conditioned truck and sell ice cream.
So each of these trucks is custom built for the state laws of.
Yeah, I mean they're basically the same as far as ice cream, but they're double the size what they used to be, double the suspension. You know. Yeah. They tweak them every year.
Right.
But now you could really sleep in the truck almost.
Okay.
That's how professional they are.
Wow.
And to see that they take a year to go from Runnymede, New Jersey to Texas or North Carolina.
Yeah.
But you got to have the commitment.
I mean, I guess it's like
time.
I mean, it's like anything.
And the other states are doing this 12 months a year.
True. Yeah. I mean, you're in Naples, Florida.
Yeah.
You know,
so this was basically only a summertime business here in the Bronx.
Right.
And most of the population of Softee drivers enjoyed it, but they were from Latin countries, being Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic.
Sure.
So they worked their butt off.
Yeah.
In the summer.
And then they would go back and
relax, and they come back in March, and they put their kids through college.
Yeah,
they make a good, honest living, and they're hardworking.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
I kind of took that.
Yeah,
as my next level.
Wow. All right. Yeah, that's. Oof. And what's it like driving a Mister Softee truck? You know, that's the other part of the experience. You got to drive the thing. So.
Yeah. Well, if your route isn't all that big, you hit a couple of ballparks, a couple of neighborhoods. Okay. I get calls all the time. Can you come by? And it's a direct contact. Yeah. So if you're not doing more than 40 miles, it's an enjoyable day.
Right. Okay.
But if you got to chase up to do a party in Middletown or do one down in Ardsley, then it's a little bit hectic and traffic. And we do a lot over Rockland County. We get a lot of calls in Rockland County now. So we try not to do anything less than 50 people.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we try not to do anything less than that. So, and the demand is, we're overbooked. Even now with the 4 trucks. So the
overbooked with the 4 trucks?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
And even if you wanted to, you'd have to wait a year to get another truck.
Right.
And so that's what the good humor is kind of filling in.
Yeah, it fills in.
I
can give you, and nobody really wants a good humor truck compared to the Softee.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah. Because we sell the good humor on the Softee truck as well.
Same stuff. Yeah, same stuff.
Although the majority of it is the soft stuff.
Do you think it works because it's kind of that niche? You've got the soft ice cream versus a lot of the ice cream shops are more hard ice cream.
Right. And it's just the experience of waiting online, getting a fresh dipped cone, and being at your venue, the birthday party, or at the ballpark, And if you go to Shea or Yankee Stadium, they have a little kiosk of a Softee truck.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah, and the line is out the door.
Right, yeah.
People don't want that packaged ice cream. They want that experience.
So you ever thought, you do the ice cream, the hot dogs, French fries, the burgers, you ever thought, I don't know, opening up a French restaurant or something fancy? Or you?
No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I like the fast food, the quick, inexpensive meal.
Yeah.
I don't even like eating at expensive restaurants. I went to a steakhouse once, and for 4 people, it cost me $600.
Well, that's not surprising.
Yeah, so I said I could go to Nathan's and Softee and
that's
spend
right.
$50.
Well, then you're thinking, how many ice cream cones do I?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself when you make expenses that you're calculating how much it costs in Mister Softee cones?
A little bit. I don't do that as much because I succeeded way past my expectations.
That's great. Yeah.
I don't really need the money now.
Yeah.
but I still enjoyed the action.
It still keeps you going.
Keeps me
and,
going.
Yeah.
Keeps me
Yeah.
motivated.
And you've got some real estate, and you did that as well.
Yeah, I always reinvested my money. I never brought a car. Never liked car payments.
Yeah.
I try to tell these kids when they start making money, don't go out and buy.
Because that's
or
the
lease
first
a
thing
car.
they do.
That's the first thing, and
Yeah.
it's the worst investment you can ever make.
Sure. Yeah.
I've always had a dumpy car, a
Yep.
dumpy van to this day.
Yeah. Yeah.
To this day, I
Yeah.
have a van outside with 300,000 miles.
Wow.
Dirty. It looks like I'm a bum, but it transports ice cream and
Hey,
hot
you know,
dogs and rolls
yeah.
and everything. And I don't care where I park if somebody nicks.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
so
true.
I have no worries as far as that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I know you did some limo driving as well, and
Yeah.
here you are driving somebody, and you're probably worth more than the person that you're driving
Yeah,
around.
that has probably happened. Well, I don't ever take anything for granted because where I came from.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when I tell you we were piss poor.
I mean,
piss poor.
seven children,
Seven
a
children.
widowed mother, and
Yeah, and 3 teenagers that
Yeah.
were out partying
Right.
and doing everything.
yeah,
So I was 14 at the time, so I kind of bunkered down. And again, Jimmy Fay, who was the #1 vendor at Shea and Yankee Stadium, and Bill Morris was my phys ed teacher. He took me to, in 7th grade, after my father died, he took me to Emil Griffin middleweight fight and sat me in the first row because his father was commissioner of boxing
right.
at that
Wow.
time. So he always kept in touch with me, and we just recently lost him. But he was another mentor, and that's why I became a phys ed teacher.
Wow.
Because of his mentorship.
Wow.
And Jimmy Fay with the entrepreneurship.
Right.
So I had no father, and
Yeah.
they both guided me.
And now you're
In
doing it
different
today to the next
Yeah,
generation.
yeah.
So that's
And
great.
because they both always told me to give back, don't take.
Good. Yeah.
So that's what I've
Very
learned,
nice.
to give back.
So, how can people find out more about your businesses if they want to want to have you come to their, I don't know, wedding, wake, birthday party?
Just call us at 914-943-6960 or
Okay.
come visit the Softee store in Yorktown Heights, 1990 Commerce Street, and we'll accommodate you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
All right.
good.
And putting a million smiles plus on people's faces.
Yeah, it's really a nice experience.
Yeah, sure is. Well, hey, it's been a good experience
Yes,
with you, Mike.
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for being on the
Appreciate it.
show.